like, I'm not high maintenance. And it's like, girl, yes you are. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to like nice things. It's okay to like luxury. It's not okay to be an asshole. Hey guys, this is Kiosha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to review the 4th episode of Married at First Sight, Houston. And I'm Kiosha. I'm a lawyer that doesn't practice. I'm a mid-level government bureaucrat, and I'm just a moonlighter in creativity. And so, like I said, we are going to review the 4th episode of Married at First Sight. And if I'm being honest, and I know this is so messy, I mean, we could have done with a little more drama, but I get what they're doing. They're building, right? They're world building. They're setting everything up. Fair enough. And so on the episode, and you know I have my notebook, on the episode they jumped around so much. So I'm literally just going to go couple by couple, starting with Gil and Myrla. And I'm going to try my best to keep this video under 40 minutes. I'm going to try my best. So we're opening up the episode, and the episode basically goes over like the night after the wedding and then the next day. So like day 1 and day 2, right? And the episode opens with Gil and Myrla. And so the night as they were going to sleep, it was really, really cute. He was like, do you want me to rub your feet? And she was like, that's not gonna happen. And so it just really cracked me up, because it's definitely foreshadowing for the dynamic between these two. Like, you can tell he's really sweet and giving, and he will bend over. And I'm not gonna say she's not sweet, but she seems to be the exact opposite of him. Like, if it doesn't benefit her, she's just like, no thanks, right? So then, before they went to bed as well, Gil got really deep about his dad being murdered. And that was just like a really touching moment. And I'm going to chuck it up to Myrla just being tired. And she was like, I don't want to talk about this right now. So he was like, fair enough. They go to bed. They wake up. And, you know, they are really cute together. They wake up and he kind of circles back around. And he's like, yeah, so, I mean, are you comfortable with talking about what happened with your dad? And again, another heartbreaking, awful story. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, and you know, they do have that in common. Like, I don't want them to like trauma bond over that. I want them to bond because they are getting to know each other and they are bonding. But that was just really sad. Like, that was a lot. That kind of took me out a little bit, if I'm being honest. But I like Gil. Gil is open. Gil will tell you exactly what's on his mind. Gil will speak his mind. And Gil will be vulnerable. I really like that about him. So now let's kind of go to like them meeting each other's families, right? And so let's start with Gil meeting Myrla's like brother, best friend, and like somebody else. I don't know if it was her cousin. And I was a bit irritated with this. I understand Myrla has been through a lot. I understand Myrla lost her father in a very traumatic fashion. And I can understand how people are protective of her. But like I said in my last review, like, these people are adults. Like, please do not come to the table and interrogate me like I'm your child, right? Please don't come to the table trying to son me. And it definitely seemed like they were on these bully vibes with him, like especially Myrla's one friend, and then her brother too. Like, her brother said something like, yeah, as long as you're good, you won't have to see my bad side. What's up then? What's up with your bad side? Like, what I'm a grown ass man. And at this point, we're already married. So mind your business. Now, if you want to talk and you want to ask me questions just because you genuinely want to get to know me to see if I'm a good fit, you know, fair enough. But like, y'all don't have any dominion in this relationship. So I was completely annoyed with that whole interaction, right? Like completely annoyed. And so let's move to Myrla meeting some of Gil's friends. Oh, before I move, Gil definitely brought up kind of the finances thing. And again, these people were so fucking rude, like, to me. And the way they framed it was basically like, you know, she's good with her finances. She doesn't need you. She is self-sufficient. So if she makes up a decision and she wants to spend her money, she's going to do it because she doesn't need you. And while this may be a fact, right? Like, while she is absolutely capable of taking care of herself and like being an independent woman because she's been doing it, it kind of diminishes like almost like the need for a husband. Like, yes, she can take care of herself. Yes, he can take care of himself, but they are supposed to be coming together to build a life, to rely on one another. Like, it's not her resources and then his resources separately. They are coming to build something together. So I did not like that at all. I don't like her family, and clearly I don't like her male friends. They were just very negative, and the way they were talking, it just defeats the point of marriage anyway, right? They were just basically like, she doesn't need you, and it was just kind of like, okay. But let's move on. She met up with his folks, and they basically just told her, like, listen, Gil is outspoken, Gil is passionate, Gil will speak his mind. You know, as long as you know that those things are going to happen. And he's not rude. He's not going to be rude, but he is going to tell you how he feels. So, I mean, I think things went really well with them. They weren't really trying to bully her. They were genuinely like trying to put her on game, like letting her know who she was dealing with. And she asked questions, and I thought it was a really pleasant interaction. She did bring up the fact that she throws tantrums. A lot of people throw tantrums, but she kept harping on it. And she said, I throw tantrums, I can be a brat, you know, if I don't get my way. I won't, like, she said, I won't go and be silent and completely disengaged. She was like, I'll let you know how I feel and what's on my mind, but I'll just need a little bit of time to kind of get my stuff together. And so, you know, I get it. We all kind of freak out and spaz out. Or we all kind of have fits every now and then. As long as they're like contained internally and you're not harming anybody else, it's fine. So I'm going to be interested to see how her tantrums take place. Like, are they going to be internal? Is she just going to, you know, have a moment and be like, hey, I just need a little bit of time? Or is she going to completely spaz out, give the silent treatment, be on her own? Like, let's just see how it is. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, but let's see. So then we're kind of on the second day. They're getting ready for the honeymoon. They're getting ready to leave. And so Gil was just really excited. He seemed, I know I keep saying this, but he just seemed so into her. And he was just like, you know, I'm really excited to see you on the honeymoon. I'm really excited to see you in the element. You said you liked water. And he was just like, I really want to have fun with my wife. One thing I did notice, after they landed and they got to, I think it was the Keys in Florida for the honeymoon, Myrla is a complainer. She complains about everything. Oh my God, the room beside us is too close. Oh my God, that pool is so little. My pool is bigger than that. Oh my gosh, it's almost to the point where I be like, girl, Jesus Christ, do you like anything? Like, I'm picking up real negative Nancy vibes. I don't know. We'll see. And it came a point towards the end of the night where they were eating, and he called her high maintenance, and she was like, what? And I couldn't tell if she was like being funny or if she was being serious. And like, I'm not high maintenance. And it's like, girl, yes you are, and it's okay. Like, it's okay to like nice things. It's okay to like luxury. It's not okay to be an asshole, but it's okay to like nice things. So that's kind of how they ended, right? Nothing bad, nothing too good, just kind of so in the middle. I'm guessing that the next or the honeymoon episode is kind of when things are going to spice up with all the couples. And so now let's talk about Rachel and Jose. I have a lot to say. I don't know if I'm going to say it all on camera. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But I have a lot to say about this couple. So as they were going to sleep, like, they're really comfortable with one another. They are really touchy-feely. They're really comfortable with, like, being intimate with one another. I think they like even like totally had a makeout session under the covers. Like, they're really, at the very least, sexually attracted to one another from what we can see. They woke up the next morning and kissed with morning breath. I mean, didn't touch a toothbrush. Kissed with full-on morning breath. So I'm like, okay. Jose was just being super flirty and playful, and I just could not get. He's very flamboyant, and he is very effeminate to me. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying anything. These are just things that I'm noticing, and these are things that in the back of my head make me think, like, you know, is he gay? Would he be better suited towards being with the male? But I don't know, like, he's playing it well. Maybe, you know, maybe he's just effeminate, and that's, you know, that's fine. But it just kind of gives me pause, only because it's like, say he is gay, it's not necessarily fair to Rachel if he is gay. I'm trying to, in my head, right, I'm completely wrong. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. I'm wrong. He's probably not gay. He is probably absolutely straight. But in the off chance, in the weird realm that he is gay, it's not fair to Rachel. But let's move past it and let's keep on talking about them together and their chemistry. They do seem to have good chemistry. Last thing I'm gonna say, they asked Jose if he would reject her if she made sexual advances, and he said, well, that wouldn't be a very masculine thing to do. And I said, well, why would he say that? Why would he say that? Why would he say that wouldn't be a very masculine thing to do, as opposed to being like, hell no, I'm a man. Like, I'm not. No, if she wants to get down, I'm getting down with my wife. He had a very interesting choice of words. We'll see. We'll get to it. I don't know. Let's see the rest of the season. But that definitely caught me. Aside from all of that, he does seem to really want to make her happy. He seems like a perfectionist who's always in his head, but he almost also seems like a people pleaser. Like, he really just wants to impress her, and he really just wants her to be into him. I don't know. And so let's get to them meeting their respective families. And so he met with her family. I think it was like her mom and her best friend. And he kind of immediately went into ranting about how amazing she is and how great of a matchup like this is. And I mean, just ranting and raving about her, which is cool. You know, it's cool. It gives me a little bit of pause because, you know, y'all just met. Like, calm down, breathe. You know, let things settle in a bit. But her family, her friend, her mom and her friend, they were really sweet. They were really nice. They were kind of spilling the beans, you know, kind of, you know, threw under the bus a little bit. Like, yeah, you know, she's messy. Like, I mean, she's just so busy with school and work sometimes that, you know, her house is messy. And, oh, wait until you see her car. And he definitely got really uncomfortable. You could tell he was like, what? And then they told him that she takes mental notes. So, to me, what I was hearing them say is she might not communicate when she is irritated with you. She might not tell you if something bothers her, but she's taking a mental note. And they said that eventually, as things add up, she tends to blow up. Or like, if you could tell something's wrong with her and you ask her if she's okay, and you ask her multiple times, she might blow up. So that's concerning. It tells me that she's a bad communicator and she has a short fuse. And so then she met with his parents. I think it was like his stepmom, his dad. I can't remember if his mom was there. And again, it was this whole thing of how we're perfect for one another. We have everything in common. And his dad just basically said that, you know, he's extremely regimented, which we already know. And that he's frugal. He's really good with his money. He even has an expense board up in his house, which is no surprise, seeing his personality. And it kind of came out that she's maybe not the best with money or finances. It wasn't straight up like, oh my God, my credit is shot. But it definitely came out that she isn't the best with finances. So, you know, it could be an issue. It probably will be. We'll see. But basically they came back together, right? After they met each other's families. And it came up that what they had talked about finance-wise, what Rachel had talked about with his family. And she did go ahead and tell him that, you know, she's not the best finance-wise. And I thought he handled it really well. He didn't go off the deep end, but he did basically say like, oh, well, we're going to take care of that, right? We're going to handle that. That's not going to be a problem. And so, you know, that is her husband, and they are joining their lives together. So the fact that he's going to take the initiative to help her, I think that's cool. Whether or not she's going to be willing to accept the help, I don't know. Like, it seems like right now, yeah, but we'll see as things really get into it. And we'll see how pushy he is and kind of how overbearing he is when it comes to the subject. You know, we'll see. Let's see what else. Y'all, I think the craziest thing that I saw is as they were getting ready to go to the Keys, he was getting ready to pick up condoms off the bed to put them in his bag. And she was like, oh, no. You can't make babies that way. And she made him leave those condoms. And I don't know if it was just how it was edited, but he seemed to be like, okay, I'll leave him here. Just like, all right. And so to me, girl, like, you just met him. I know that you all are technically married, but you just met this man. How do you know, y'all go on this honeymoon and y'all boom, then you're pregnant, but then you get to find out that you don't even like this man. And I'm not being judgy. Like, this is just like me being objective. Slow down a little bit. You know, maybe you should have picked up those condoms. There's no rush. But she did say that she's not interested in taking her time. She wants it to be perfect now. So she's not a good communicator. She has a short fuse. And she doesn't think things through. She's impulsive. I guess I'll say that. That's what I'm picking up. It's going to be really interesting, their personality, because he's a thinker and he thinks about everything, and she seems to be the opposite. The only other thing that I noticed is when they got to the hotel room and the honeymoon, he was like, can I brush your teeth? That was so weird. You're a weird little man, Jose. You are a weird little man. And we're going to see how this goes, but what I will say is, I might have said this in my last review, there is so much foreshadowing. We're perfect together. You're my perfect match. They put us together perfectly. We have so much in common. This may be reality TV, but it's still TV. And there are still storylines, and there are pictures that need to be painted. And for them, this foreshadows, oh my gosh, we have so much in common. This foreshadows them not having a damn thing in common and them going at it like cats and dogs, because you have to remember their personalities are almost diametrically opposed to one another. He is a perfectionist. He thinks things out. He is thoughtful. He takes his time, and he likes things how he likes them. And he has a high standard of how he likes things. She, on the other hand, seems to be really impulsive and maybe not as responsible as him, and he's not going to like that one bit. Right? How is she going to be able to, like, she looks wise, yes, that's what he asked for, but like personality wise and everything else, she's not going to be able to meet his high standards. She's going to try to meet his high standards because she tries to like fit into the mold of her partner, and it's just not going to work. Like, it's just not going to work. So it's going to be very interesting how they're setting up like the foreshadowing. Oh my gosh, we're so great together. Fast forward to, I hate you. So that's that on them. Let's move on to Michaela and Zack. Again, I've said it a million times. They're a good looking couple. Their chemistry is dumb. It's just dumb. I do think they are going to be a firecracker couple, a volatile couple, and not in a good way. But let's talk about why. Let's start with some of the good things. They're really affectionate towards one another. She seems to be really nurturing towards him, like really early on. So, you know, that's pretty good. That was really cool to see. Zack talks so much. I mean, he just talks so much. He just gets so excited. He gets so excited and he just has to let everything out. And his dad actually said that when Michaela went to meet with him, that when he gets nervous, he kind of has these tics where he just, everything comes out. He just mouth vomits. So that was that. But before they met with their families, he was like, so, you know, tell me about some of your habits. And it basically came out that she can be, what's the word? She can be passive or nonchalant with regards to like dating. And she said that it's like a defense mechanism to avoid catching feelings. Again, previous videos, 2 commitment phobes that are now married. And then she also said that she is possessive. That was an interesting word to use, because when I hear possessive, it's not like, oh my gosh, you're my man. You're my man. It's not like that. Like, it's, you're mine. You're mine. You're not going anywhere. You don't have a say-so in the matter. Why is that woman looking at you? She's staring 2 seconds too long. If that waiter comes over here and she fills up your water one more time, I'm setting this on fire. Right? That's what I'm picking up. Y'all watch what I say. They are going to be volatile. So she went to meet his people. He does really have a good family. His dad mentioned that he's spoiled, which you can totally see. Like, you can totally see if things don't go his way, he's going to walk out. I repeat, if things don't go his way, he's going to walk out. But then they said that he's really good with children. Oh, they asked her how she resolves conflict. Now, without getting into what happened in the flash forward on the last episode, this girl goes, you know, I don't like the name calling. I don't like raising voices. What else did she say? I don't like the yelling and screaming. You know, I just want to have a conversation and be able to settle things like an adult. And then before that, she was just basically like, I saw a bad example between my mom and dad, and I just grew up and I didn't want to be like that. So she says all that, right? Which was really interesting. We'll see if she can walk that walk, because she absolutely talked that talk in front of his parents. I don't think she's going to be able to walk that walk. Spoiler. And then he met with her sisters, and again, they're very protective of her, which I understand, to an extent, especially with them losing their father. I think the difference between how they talk to Zack and how Gil's people talk to, or how Myrla's people talk to Gil, is you could tell they actually were being comforting and making him comfortable and being nurturing towards him. Like, yeah, they were trying to ensure that he takes care of her, but it was in a loving way. Like, they weren't rude. I didn't pick that up at all. So that was interesting, but they just basically want to make sure that she's well taken care of, because they've always taken care of her. They've always looked out for her, and they're kind of passing the torch to him as her husband to take care of her. So, fair enough. The family ended. I'll go back to when Michaela was meeting with his family. They basically ended by saying, we're really protective of him. And his mom goes like, listen, your words are fine, but let's see what your actions show. And we sure will see what her actions show. Y'all watch what I say. They're going to be volatile. When she doesn't get her way, she's going to snap, crackle, and pop. When he doesn't get his way, if things don't go how he envisions them to go, he is going to withdraw and he's going to run. You watch what I say. Now, let's move on to Bao and Johnny. Y'all know how I feel about this couple. I'm really rooting for them. And just off the bat, as far as like Bao is concerned and how affectionate she is or isn't, from the last episode to this episode, she has progressed leaps and bounds. You can see her grabbing his hand, hugging his neck, and really reaching out to touch him. Like, she is really putting forth an effort, and I'm really proud of her, just from what I can see initially, right? So I really liked to see that from Bao. I enjoyed that. Yeah, let's move to Johnny meeting Bao's people. They were so dry. And like, Bao can be dry with like her humor, but she is bubbly and giggly. Her people were just like, man, they were really boring and dry. But I mean, that's their personalities. Let me not be that way. But Johnny asked if she gets worked up easily, because one of her friends told him kind of how she reacted to the sports jersey and how she had a meltdown. And, that definitely kind of made him pause. You could tell he was really concerned about that, and that's going to be a concern that he has. Like, is she going to fly off the deep end for something super small? They told him that he would need to be patient, which I could tell he probably is going to have to be. She is too. But, yeah. They said he's really going to have to adapt. And it just kind of seemed like a lot. Like, I probably would have been sitting there like, damn, I gotta be patient, I gotta adapt. Which are things that you have to do. But the way they were saying those things, it was just so foreboding. Like a bad omen. Like, ooh, you're really gonna have to be patient. Oh, and then it also came up, like, they asked him about his dating history, and he was just basically like, well, if I went on a date with a girl and it didn't work out or I didn't like her, I would just go on another date with another person. And it seemed to really give his friends pause. But I don't know that I absolutely disagree with Johnny's philosophy. Like, if you meet somebody and you just know it's not going to work, what's wrong with going on another date? But then I could also see how maybe it's framed like you just hop from person to person without giving them a chance. I don't know. We didn't get the context. But, I mean, I could... When I was dating, child, if I went on a date and it was just like, I don't see her for you, on to the next, So, we'll see on that front. And then Bao met Johnny's family, and they were just really welcoming to her. His aunt came, and his aunt said that, she could call her mom. It was just like a really sweet moment, and they seemed to really accept Bao. And then they got down to brass knuckles. They got down to brass tacks. when you having babies, da 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 da. Like, they were not playing at all. But I think she handled herself well. She asked his family about his dad, and they basically just said that he left when Johnny was young and moved to California. And it wasn't really too much more than that. And then when they met back up, Bao asked Johnny, like, hey, can I ask about your dad? And you could tell he was triggered, but he pushed through it and he answered her. And I like how she responded. She was a very supportive partner. She told him, listen, I'll do whatever I need to do. I'll speak Vietnamese, I'll do this, I'll do that. I will do what I need to do to make him like me. And I thought that was very sweet. And it seemed to really reassure him, like his shoulders came down, kind of saw a little bit of the tension leave his face. So I enjoyed that scene. It was really touching for me. I already mentioned how much more hands-on she was as compared to like the last couple of episodes. Like, she is really putting forth effort to try to give Johnny what it is that he wants. He wants someone who is affectionate. So you could tell she's really putting that effort out there to really try to be what he wants. So they were packing, they were getting ready to go, and then they were getting ready to go to the honeymoon, and it comes up that Bao has her spreadsheet. And it was just kind of a really funny moment. He was like, really? And she was like, yes. And then she proceeds to tell him in great detail about her spreadsheet. She's so cute. And, he was just basically like, she's me on steroids, because he said he has a checklist. I have checklists as well for packing. But I don't think he was freaked out. He actually made a joke. He was like, well, if she lets me take control of her spreadsheet, I'll know that like we've really made it. I'll know that she really loves me. So I thought that was funny. Let's see if I'm missing anything. They had a moment where because they got to the hotel room and she was like, are you gonna sleep in the other bed? And at first I was like, what? And then I remembered where he said that she kind of snored the night before, so I guess maybe she didn't want to disturb him. But girl, y'all in marriage, y'all gonna be sleeping together. He's gonna have to get used to your little snores, But that was really funny. Like, you could tell they caught him off guard. Like, you want me to go where? And so after that, he brought it up and he was like, listen, if you're ever uncomfortable, please let me know. I want you to feel like you can talk to me. And so I thought that was a really touching moment. And then Johnny being Johnny goes, so what are you into sexually? I just thought that shit was so funny. And she just basically kind of got off by saying, I've definitely thought about sex with you. I could tell by how you kiss me that you would be a good lover. And she was like, well, what are your things when it comes to sex? And he was like, I am so vanilla. I just like vanilla sex. It was really funny. Like, he's hilarious. These two together are just going to be hilarious. And it's not going to be on purpose. And it kind of ended with, I think Bao had a confessional. And she basically was like, yeah, he's really putting in effort. And he really is chipping away at my shell. And so I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see them maybe get a little more intimate, get a little more closer. Of course, drama's gonna pop up. Of course they're gonna clash. They have two strong personalities. And Bao doesn't play. We've seen that. So of course they're gonna clash. But if they're both open, I think they can figure it out. They seem to be a very reasonable couple. I think if they're both open, I think they can figure it out. And now on to kind of my least favorite couple. And I love Brett. I just don't like Ryan. But we're on to Brett and Ryan, right? And they just have these awkward scenes, like when they're talking. And I can't tell if it's edited that way or if they are just very awkward together. And I know they just met, so I'm trying to balance that out. Like, give them time to get to know one another, to be comfortable with one another. She did say that intimacy would probably take her a little bit of time, because it's been 2 years, just for her to kind of get into the groove of things and to get comfortable with him. I mean, you could tell he was down. If she would have said drop him and spread him right then and there, he would have done it. Okay. Ryan is dry. Ryan is very dry. And I don't know, maybe they're editing him that way, but he's just very boring. Brett seems to be a lot more lively. She has a lot more personality. We'll see. So she met with his friends and his friend and his sister. And she asked them why they thought they were matched. And his sister said, well, he dates beautiful potatoes, basically crops. Basically women with no substance. So she thinks that they were matched because she actually has substance. Not only is she beautiful, but she has something to offer in addition to being beautiful. And his friend said that, Ryan's a bit shy, he's a bit introverted, and that she might have to pull him out of his shell. And I kind of agree with Brett, like, why do I have to pull you out of your shell? Like, why am I tasked with pulling you out of your shell? Like, can you not? I don't know, I just felt like that was a lot to kind of put on her. Like, yeah, I'm here and we're married and we're figuring each other out, but the onus should be on him to kind of open up, as opposed to her literally pulling teeth to get him to come out of his shell, right? Let's see. And then Ryan met with her family, and he was just so dry. He didn't have anything to say. His family was basically asking him questions again, pulling teeth to get him to interact. I don't like that. I don't see it for Ryan, y'all. I just don't. Like, is he really in this for the marriage, or is he just tired of dating? We shall see. Then we kind of go to them getting ready to leave. Brett is really scared of planes, but she said he was a really big help and he really comforted her. And then it kind of cut to him, and you could see he was actually very annoyed at her for being scared of planes. He was just kind of like, he was making like these really dry jokes, just kind of like, yeah. So I don't know. I'm guessing he did good on the plane, and I'm guessing he comforted her on the plane. But you could tell he was just kind of like, man, I don't know if he's into it. Like, of course, I think he's attracted to her, but I do not know if he's into this process, y'all. Maybe he really is dry. Maybe it is the editing, but I just don't see it for Ryan. And I just feel like it's kind of setting Brett up for failure, because Brett is so serious about this. She is all in, and then y'all pair her up with this damn. He has the personality of a of a puppet. He has the personality of a doll, a Barbie doll. There's none there. It's just, he has the personality of a golem. There is none there, right? But maybe I'm being too hard on him. As for the next episode, it was really quick. There wasn't really anything juicy in it. They kind of showed a clip of them at the vacation or on the honeymoon, and like Johnny was putting sunscreen on Bao, and he was just looking at that ass. So that was funny. So I'm pretty sure Zach has COVID. Because he mentioned early in the episode that one of his friends tested positive, and then they land and all of a sudden he feels like shit. So I'm pretty sure he has COVID, which sucks, especially at the beginning of their honeymoon. And then they kind of showed flash forwards of Michaela kind of having a temper tantrum. Again, you told his parents that you were cool, calm, and collected, and that you were a good communicator, and that you didn't believe in raising voices and this and that. And then we cut to you kind of having a conniption. And I get it. It's disappointing that you get to your honeymoon and your partner's sick and you can't even interact with him. And and you have to do things alone, but it's not like he did it on purpose. Like he didn't go and catch COVID on purpose. It just kind of happened. So maybe I'm jumping ahead, right? We'll talk about it when it happens. We'll talk about it on the next episode to kind of see how it unfolds. But y'all, I don't see it for them to. Not long term. I don't see it for them to. I just don't know how they're going to make it. She's going to be a lot. And you could tell he's just not the personality to sit up and take a verbal beating. He's going to withdraw and he's going to leave. And she's not going to like that very much. So, we'll see. That concludes my review of episode 4. Like I said, I'm excited for the season. This episode was a little dry, but I'm sure the next one is going to be action-packed. If you've watched this far in the video, thank you so much for, watching the entire video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I would love to see you around hanging in the neighborhood, and go ahead and give this video a like. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye. Bye.